It happened in a way no one could have predicted. A normal Friday evening in Istanbul turned into a global headline within hours. The city, already alive with lights and energy, suddenly became the stage for a reunion that fans had only dreamed of. Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir, face to face again after years of silence. It began at a private event held at a luxury rooftop venue in Karaköy. The event wasn't open to the public. It was a charity gala, attended by actors, directors, and industry insiders. No one expected the two names that once defined Turkish television's golden era to appear in the same room. But as the night went on, whispers began to spread. Someone had seen Can arriving through a side entrance, wearing a sharp black suit, calm and confident. Moments later, Demet arrived, radiant in a simple but elegant white dress that caught the light with every movement. Cameras weren't allowed inside, but you can't stop phones. Within minutes, short, blurry videos started leaking onto social media, the first one showing Demet standing by the balcony, laughing with friends. Then, a second video appeared, and that one broke the internet. In it, Can was seen approaching her. He said something, too quiet to hear, and Demet turned around, her expression shifting from surprise to a soft, emotional smile. That 10-second clip was all it took. By midnight, every gossip outlet in Turkey was running the story. Can and Demet reunite in Istanbul. Fans flooded the comments, half crying, half celebrating. Hashtags like hashtag Can and Demet reunion and hashtag Istanbul in shock exploded across platforms. People began to analyze every frame, the way he smiled, the way she leaned slightly forward, even the color of her dress. Everyone wanted to know, was this just coincidence, or something more? Eyewitnesses at the event later described the moment in emotional detail. One guest told a reporter, "It was like time stopped. They looked at each other for a few seconds, and you could feel the energy in the room shift." Another added, "No one dared to interrupt them. It felt personal, like something that had been waiting to happen." When the night ended, both stars left separately, but that didn't stop the speculation. Fans claimed that Can's car was seen leaving shortly after Demet's. Others swore they spotted her driver waiting near his hotel later that evening. Whether true or not, the narrative was already unstoppable. By morning, international media had picked up the story. Headlines in Italy, Spain, and Brazil read, "The reunion that shook Istanbul." Clips of their reunion were set to romantic music on TikTok, and millions of fans commented things like, "It's destiny," and "You can't fake that kind of chemistry." No one knew what this meeting really meant yet. But one thing was certain, Istanbul hadn't buzzed this much since the peak of their on-screen love story. And somewhere behind the noise, both of them were quietly processing what had just happened. The next morning, Istanbul woke up to chaos. Every TV channel, news site, and social media platform was flooded with the same headline, "Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir, together again?" The video of their reunion had already crossed several million views overnight, and people were losing their minds. Even the biggest morning talk shows changed their entire schedule just to discuss those 10 seconds of eye contact. Paparazzi swarmed outside both their homes. Reporters stationed themselves near Can's hotel in Bebek and Demet's apartment in Iğdırlar, hoping for a reaction. But both stars remained invisible, no social media posts, no comments, no statements. The silence made it even louder. Fans grew restless. "Why aren't they saying anything?" one fan posted. If this is just coincidence, they would deny it. Others insisted it was proof that something was happening behind the scenes. Entertainment magazines published full-page spreads of the blurred video stills. In one shot, Can's smile looked warm and familiar. In another, Demet's eyes seemed full of nostalgia. Experts were even invited on shows to interpret their body language, with one psychologist saying, "That kind of look comes from history, not acting." But the real shock came later that afternoon, when Demet finally broke her silence, not with words, but with a picture. On her Instagram story, she posted a photo of the Bosphorus at sunset, taken from the same district where the event had been held. The caption was short but powerful, "Some connections never fade." That was all she needed to say. Within minutes, the post went viral. Over 2 million views in an hour. Fans flooded the comments with emotional messages, "She's talking about him. This is not a coincidence. It's happening." Turkish media outlets immediately picked up the post, pairing it with Can's reaction from the previous night's clip. It was all anyone could talk about. While the world analyzed Demet's post, Can was spotted entering a local gym in Arnavutköy. Paparazzi asked him directly about the reunion, shouting, "Can, have you spoken to Demet?" He didn't respond, but he smiled. And that single smile, captured in dozens of photos, was enough to fuel headlines for days. One magazine even titled its front page, "His smile says everything." Behind the scenes, people close to both stars hinted that their reunion hadn't been accidental. According to one insider, the charity event had originally been scheduled weeks earlier, but Can only confirmed his attendance after learning Demet would be there. He knew she'd come, the source said. And he didn't want to miss that chance. By evening, Istanbul was alive with speculation. Restaurants, coffee shops, and even taxi drivers were talking about the same thing. "Did you see them? Do you think they'll get back together?" It wasn't just gossip anymore, it was a national obsession. But no one knew that the story was about to take an even more dramatic turn, because that night, a second video would surface, showing what really happened after the camera stopped rolling. That night, as the world was still buzzing from Demet's cryptic Instagram post, a second video began circulating online, and it changed everything. At first, it appeared on a small fan page with just a few thousand followers, but within an hour, it had spread like wildfire across Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. The caption read, "What the cameras didn't show." The clip, barely 20 seconds long, showed the aftermath of the reunion at the Karaköy event. The first few seconds captured Demet leaving the balcony, walking toward the exit, with Can a few steps behind her. What made the video explode, though, was the moment she turned back. You could clearly hear him calling her name, softly, "Demet," and she stopped. The crowd's noise dimmed, the music played faintly in the background, and for a heartbeat, everything felt suspended. She smiled, a small, bittersweet expression that seemed to hold years of unsaid words. Then, in a voice almost lost under the music, she said, "Some things never really end." The video cut off right there, no goodbye, no explanation, just that single sentence. Within minutes, the internet went into meltdown. Fans were crying, screaming, celebrating. Did she really say that? He called her name. It's like a movie scene. The hashtag some things never end hit #1 worldwide in under 2 hours. Even celebrities began sharing the clip, calling it the moment that melted Istanbul. News programs replayed it in slow motion. Entertainment reporters debated every word. One channel even hired a lip-reading expert to confirm what Demet had said. The result was clear, it wasn't speculation anymore. She had truly said those 5 words that made millions believe the story between them wasn't over. Meanwhile, inside sources began revealing what had really happened that night. According to someone who attended the gala, Can and Demet had spoken privately for almost 15 minutes after the event ended. They didn't argue. They didn't act like strangers, the witness said. It was emotional. They looked peaceful. Another guest claimed that before leaving, Can hugged her briefly, whispering something that made her tear up. The next morning, that same fan page posted another picture, a blurry shot of Can and Demet standing close together near the exit, their faces partly hidden, but their hands unmistakably intertwined. No captions, no claims, the photo spoke for itself. By sunrise, international outlets were calling it the reunion that broke the internet. Fans from around the world, from Brazil to Italy, began leaving comments like "This is what destiny looks like," and "Love always finds its way back." In less than 24 hours, the story of their reunion had turned into something far bigger, a phenomenon. But neither of them had spoken publicly yet. The silence from both sides only made the emotion stronger, and everyone knew, something even bigger was coming. 3 days after the world lost its mind over the second video, Can Yaman finally broke his silence. The announcement came out of nowhere, a live interview on a primetime television program in Istanbul. The studio was packed, cameras ready, and millions were watching from home. Everyone knew the topic that would dominate the night: Demet Özdemir. From the moment Can walked in, the atmosphere shifted. He looked calm, dressed in a simple black shirt, his expression serious but collected. The host started with the usual questions: his upcoming project in Italy, his recent travels, his training routine, but everyone was waiting for one thing. Finally, she asked, "Can, the entire world is talking about your reunion with Demet. What really happened that night?" He paused for a moment, took a breath, and gave a small, almost nostalgic smile. "Some moments," he began, "can't be explained in words. Sometimes life gives you a chance to meet someone again, not to start over, but to see how much you've both grown." The audience went silent. The host, sensing the emotion, pressed gently, "Did that night mean something special to you?" Can looked down briefly, then straight into the camera. "I think it meant something to both of us," he said quietly. "Demet will always be someone who changed the rhythm of my life." That was it. That one sentence was enough to reignite the fire that had been burning for days. Social media exploded, hashtags like #CanSpeaks, #Demet changed him, and #LoveInIstanbul trended instantly. His words were replayed, quoted, analyzed. Fans cried, journalists debated, and Istanbul seemed to freeze in collective disbelief. But while everyone was reacting to his emotional confession, something else happened, something no one saw coming. During the same hour as Can's live interview, Demet posted a story on Instagram. It was a simple boomerang clip of rain hitting her balcony railing, with the song Unfinished Stories playing softly in the background. No caption. No words. Just that. The timing was too perfect to be a coincidence. The comments exploded instantly: "She's watching. That's her answer. They're still connected." In less than an hour, her story had millions of views and thousands of screenshots circulating across every fan page in Turkey, Italy, and beyond. That night, a famous entertainment journalist tweeted, "What we're witnessing isn't a media stunt, it's real emotion. You can feel it." And for once, even the press seemed to agree. Later that evening, Can was spotted leaving the studio. Reporters tried to stop him, shouting questions about Demet. He smiled, waved, and simply said, "Let's just say some stories never really end." Those 9 words sent chills through everyone who heard them. The love story that once felt lost was alive again, fragile, unspoken, but undeniably real. The next morning, Istanbul felt different. The city that never sleeps seemed to pause for a moment, quieter, softer, as if holding its breath. Everyone was still talking about Can Yaman's emotional interview and Demet's subtle yet powerful response. It wasn't just a trending topic anymore, it had become a collective feeling, something that lingered in the air like the scent of rain after a storm. Then, just as things began to calm down, Demet Özdemir returned to social media with a post that would seal everything. It wasn't a selfie, not a quote, not even a professional photo shoot. It was a single black and white photo, Demet sitting on a windowsill, looking out toward the Bosphorus. Her expression was calm, reflective, somewhere between peace and nostalgia. Underneath, she wrote just 3 words: "Some things return." Those words hit like lightning. In less than 15 minutes, the post had over 1 million likes. The comments section filled instantly with messages from fans all over the world: "She's saying it. This is her answer to Can. The story isn't over, it's beginning again." Even celebrities joined in, posting heart emojis or simple one-word reactions like "beautiful." By noon, every major news outlet had made it their front-page story. The photo was everywhere, on TV, in magazines, across Europe. Italian and Spanish tabloids called it the message that silenced Istanbul. Turkish media described it as a declaration wrapped in simplicity. One journalist wrote, "No words could have expressed it better. Sometimes, silence and 3 words can shake an entire country." That same afternoon, Can was photographed walking along the Bosphorus, coincidentally, or maybe not, near the exact area where Demet's picture had been taken. He looked calm, hands in his pockets, wearing a faint smile. Paparazzi shouted questions, but he didn't answer. Still, the photos told their own story, the calm after the confession, the peace after years of unspoken emotions. Fans called it the modern love story Istanbul will never forget. Edits and compilations flooded TikTok and YouTube. One particular fan video, showing their old series scenes intercut with the reunion clips and Demet's latest photo, went viral with the caption, "Sometimes love doesn't end. It just finds its way back home." What made this story so powerful wasn't just fame or nostalgia, it was timing. After years of distance, misunderstandings, and silence, two people who once changed each other's lives had finally met again, not as stars, but as human beings. No scripts, no cameras, no PR teams, just truth. In the days that followed, neither of them said another word. No interviews, no public appearances, no clarifications. And maybe that was the beauty of it. The mystery, the emotion, and the honesty of the moment were enough. Weeks later, fans still left flowers outside the cafe where the reunion reportedly happened, leaving handwritten notes that read, "You reminded us what real love looks like." And somewhere, in the heart of Istanbul, where the sea meets the city lights, two souls who once drifted apart had finally found peace, maybe not in each other's arms, but in the silent understanding that love, when it's real, never truly fades. The end. Dizzy Broken Heart.